Hello and welcome to Creating Characters, the home for all things storytelling, writing, and branding. My name is Brianna and I created this channel because I wanted to celebrate the great stories and the great storytellers that are out there. Stories have been an important part of my life since I was a little kid. They started out as a form of escapism, a chance for me to sneak into another world whenever life was getting tough or I just needed a break from reality. And since then, they've grown to mean so much more. And that is why I've decided to create this channel, because I wanted to share that passion with everyone. So I think storytelling is important. Stories have been around for as long as mankind. We've always had this innate desire to share and connect with other living beings. And we do that through telling stories. That's the reason we have fairy tales and myths and legends that have continued on throughout the ages, is because stories are how we understand the world around us. They are how we make sense of things that maybe that have no real explanation, or how we make sense of ourselves and our daily lives. And as I mentioned earlier, they're also a way for us to escape. And another thing stories do is they tell us a lot about what it means to be human. You'll notice if you look at myths and legends from different cultures, you can learn a lot about the people there by what their myths, legends, what their folklore focuses on. Because these stories are used to basically help teach people what the world around them is like, not only like the physical world around them, but the society that they're in. One of the key parts of telling a story, though, is the characters. Without a character, you don't have a story. The characters are what people identify with. Picture your favorite story. What about that story do you love? Like, what are you attached to? Most of the time, you don't get as emotionally attached to like the setting or the plot as you do to the characters, because the characters bring life to the setting and give the plot meaning. You can't tell a story without good characters, and there are lots of different things that you can look at when you're creating these characters. There's all different kinds of archetypes, different journeys that they can go through, different character traits, and you can also do a lot with character arcs. And so that's a lot of what I'm going to be talking about, is different parts of character building, examples of different archetypes, examples of good character building, bad character building, things that you can learn from where other people haven't done as well. I'm also going to address the fact that villains are people as well, because often people spend more time fleshing out their hero than they do their villain. So in a lot of media, you get villains or antagonists that don't really have strong motivations, don't have that developed of characters. So that's one thing I want to address, because that's something that can help make your story stand out, is if you have a really strong, well-written villain. Another thing I'm going to talk about that's character related is actually it's personal branding. Because if you're a writer or an artist or game developer or podcaster, YouTuber, anything, then it's important to know how to build your personal brand and how to build a platform to share your stories on. I'm not talking about like developing a new Facebook. I'm talking about how to use tools like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram to build your brand, get a following, and build a platform where you can share your passions and your knowledge and your expertise and your experience with other people. Because that's something I personally have been working on. And it can take a lot of work, but it's definitely worth doing, and there are some ways that you can get started doing that today and continue building until you get to where you want to be. Some of the specific things I'm going to talk about beyond just character development is I'm also going to talk about world building, because the world that your characters are in as well as the plot and journey that they go through have an impact on them. And I can show you, I want to talk about the different ways that you can have that interplay together. And the examples I'm going to be giving are from like books, movies, TV shows, some from anime, as well as from video games or podcasts or just any sort of media story, even some real life examples of people sharing their stories. Because sometimes it can help a lot to learn from other people's examples. I just recently read an article, it was from 2012, but it was talking about how watching shows on Netflix can help you become a better writer. It makes it easier to study all of the different story arcs and just learn from examples. So now that you know that, if you find that article, then you can use it as a reference for when people are giving you a hard time about binge watching things. You could just tell them it's for research. I'll also probably talk about, I have a thing of, I'm building a list of books, movies, and shows everyone needs to experience at least once in their life. This includes popular ones like Lord of the Rings, some of the Star Wars movies, but also some of the classic books like Round the World in 80 Days, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and The Count of Monte Cristo. Those are some of my favorites that I've read so far. I know that they can be a bit much, but they still have really good stories that you can learn from. My end goal is I want to help people find the courage and the focus and the tools that they need to get out there and tell their stories, to chase their dreams, no matter how crazy they may seem to others, and to ultimately one day change the world. I have a personal belief that if something I do or create has a positive impact on at least one person, I will consider that to be a success. Even if it's just one person whose life I have a positive impact on, I'll be happy. So my goal is I will be posting bi-weekly videos as well as gameplay, as well as videos of gameplay from my Twitch channel that I'm going to be starting soon, because then you can hear me talking about different story elements as I play through games and laugh at how I sometimes am not the best at the game, but I have fun with it anyway, so that's all that matters, right? So, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more information, and at any point, if there's anything you would like me to talk about, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will get on that as soon as I can. Thank you.